as the crow flies, we're about 5 to 10 miles from the border to Mexico, and there's been border patrol all over all day. The amount of money invested, you can just see it. There's truck after truck.
More than 50%, I think, of the cars on the road.
I had heard about a fence. I didn't know it was actually real, and I didn't know that it was actually under construction.
It's kind of like Great Wall-ish. You just can't, it just doesn't look as nice. It's kind of like Berlin Wall-ish, it just hasn't come down yet.
You can literally just walk around the fence. Anybody could do it. You could have a little kid walk around the fence. And it makes me think, why are we spending millions of dollars on this? I just want people to see it and decide for themselves how they actually feel. 4 a.m. and we're getting up to ride to Ocotillo today and then getting into the desert.
That if you're headed towards a town that's named after a cactus, you probably shouldn't be riding your bicycle. Apparently 100 and something is no big deal. 118 is hot. 102, pfft.
It's kind of fun to come to a small enough town that we show up at like one of the only buildings being a fire station and get to hang out in here and try to cool down in the shade.
I got super hot and I cried a little bit while I was riding because it just felt good.
I'm pretty hot. I'm pretty tired. I only got a couple hours of sleep last night for some reason.
If you can imagine an avalanche moving uphill that looks an awful lot like touring cyclists, that's what it was.
My father is along with me, my father Steve and my cousin Joe. We're out here because we decided we wanted to cycle cross country, but also to raise money for a hospital in Chicago. And my great-grandfather, one of the people who helped to found the hospital, and part of what makes them so special and such a unique organization is that it's the only hospital in the city of Chicago that serves people regardless of their ability to pay.
They hooked us up with some nice, fresh, cold water from the RV. And we met Sean, who is doing the exact same route that we are doing, only he's doing it faster because he's huge and buff and he doesn't have a Brittany behind him.
You know, I'm comfortable with being in a situation like this on my own and know that I'm inevitably going to meet a bunch of people on my way. Every person that tells me I'm crazy, I immediately think, well, okay, well, then this is probably something I should do.
Went off to college in New Haven, Connecticut at Yale University, and didn't really know what I wanted to study. The fact that so many people are living in cities nowadays, especially, you know, in developing cities, massive, you know, slum situations. I've always wanted to improve people's lives in some way. You asked me before if my dad and I do a lot together. We have certainly in the last couple of years because my mom passed away about 4.5 years ago. She had a long battle with ovarian cancer and died when I was 18. You know, I think about her every day. She taught me an incredible deal, and you deal with it and you get through it and continue to live your life, mostly because that's what, you know, she would have done, what she would have wanted me to do, so.
What it really means to be someone else in a, you know, maybe across the street or, you know, across a continent. The only way you can ever really have that sort of understanding is by actually experiencing what we normally take for granted in the United States. I think if you are honest with people, if you communicate with them, I think you're going to have a much healthier life and you're going to have healthier relationships, which is really obviously a key. You have to have some sort of solidarity with people, you know, in order to have a successful and a healthy life.
And I think that there are going to be more stories and that they're going to tie together. And it's also really validating to hear Sean and hopefully others in the future talk about their personal experiences with water.
In Senegal, much drier climate, and you know, Sahel region, which is sort of sub-desert, there's not a lot of water available to those people. If it's 125 degrees outside and you don't have enough water to drink, you know, that's certainly negatively affecting your life.
The biggest issue facing us as a people in the 21st century is how to make our cities, where last year, for the first time in world history, over half of the world's population are now living in cities, and that's only going to keep growing.
And in Nigeria, there's plenty of water around, but it's not clean. You know, you have parasites in the water, you have issues with pollution.
And most of those people are living in horrible, horrible conditions that could be better, that should be better, that, you know, we can work to make better.
Firsthand every single day, I would purchase water for the guys that worked under me. They would drink water that would give them dysentery. In the desert in Southern California, that's something I think about.
Wealth and resources and prosperity that is experienced by some people should be experienced by everyone in some respect. And we certainly have that ability as people, you know, living together on this planet.
The way that the world is, we have the ability to provide every single person on the planet with clean water.